Welcome back to the second hour of news and views on Salam Media. The time is just gone 16 after 9 o'clock, and we are now going to be talking with the SRC at University of Cape Town. And to give you a brief intro of what we're talking about is that UCT SRC said it was not surprised by a High Court interdict application from Historical Studies head professor Adam Mendelsohn to reverse the university's resolutions against Israel over its ongoing war on Gaza. So the court action over Gaza resolutions was expected, says the UCT SRC. He's online. A very good morning to you. Welcome to the program. And you are, of course, Hlamulo Khorommbi. Welcome.
Yes. No, thank you so much for having me today. And yeah.
Was this expected when the initial stance was taken to support the Palestinian cause?
So you see, it's something that it will always whenever you take a stand which is more revolutionary or more progressive, the reality is that not everyone will accept it as it is, especially on such matters like the issue of Palestine and Gaza. So even from get-go, even when the issue arrived to council, from the first start, we knew that there were people who were pushing back to say the university must not entertain such, the university must not at all adopt such motions. It didn't start from council, even from Senate, people were trying by all means to stop this. So even when we council reached a point where they adopted, we knew and we know that we are going to get some backlash. We are going to get people who are going to be trying by all means to revenge this progressive stand which the university have taken. So that is why when it comes to us as the SRC, even when we now get aware that there is a court interdict, as the SRC, we're not shocked because it's not something that we can say we didn't expect. We just didn't know when will it happen. By the way, this is not just the only thing that will happen. I think this thing of theirs of trying to reverse this, even if they don't win it now, I can tell you they are still going to try to push it until which what we just need is just to soldier on and be ready to understand that we're going to have people who are counter-revolutionaries who will be trying by all means to reverse these resolutions.
It does come at a cost, does it not? Your very counter-revolutionary stance, and I salute you for it, and your comrades as well. But the cost would be losing donors and funding, and that's a huge, huge implication for a whole host of students.
You know, I think this the reality that we must face is the fact that indeed we will lose some of the donors, we may lose some of the funds, which will may affect even the financial stability of the university. But then the question which comes is that if indeed we are the university which have values, the university which we want to run it and we want to remain in the principle, not going to allow to be bullied by donors. If it means for them to give us money, we must lose our principle, we must lose our values. I feel like the university must be able to be radical enough to take a stand of saying, okay, go away with your money. Because what does it mean for you to come and wanting to give us your money or be a donor, give money to UCT, then you expect UCT to lose its values and its principle. If we start taking that direction, where we value money more than our principle, where we value money more than our values, like we can able to throw our values away just because of money, clearly the direction that we are taking as the institution is not the right one. So we are aware of that. What I can tell you is that all this, when it passed everywhere, a debate of losing funding have been left, right, and center. And at some point, you will realize that it is now actually being used as a scapegoat. The reality of the matter is that even when this thing has been adopted and everything, there were some who raised the issue of there will be some funders who will withdraw their there's some donors which we may withdraw, some donors which may pull out, and then but that moment we take it is when we supported the SRC, we looked at all these things, donors, some bursaries which may no longer even want to work maybe with the UCT. But what will remain, it was to remain into principle, to say let's rather lose this money, but we remain into principle. We cannot lose ourselves just because of money.
I'd like to read a statement to you by the South African Zionist Federation. They say that they've welcomed this court action by Mendelssohn. Their spokesperson, who is someone called Rolene Marks, has said, and I quote, if UCT is willing to base decisions on political expediency rather than educational priorities, it is bowing to the pressures of the day and shutting itself down as a free academic institution. This must not be allowed to happen. How do you respond to that statement by the South African Zionist Federation?
You see, this is the reality of the matter. South Africa on its own, it have already taken a stand in regarding the matter of Palestine and Gaza. And we must, yeah, pardon, I didn't hear you properly.
At the ICJ.
Yes,
Are you
South
referring
Africa,
to that?
Yes.
Okay.
So it have already taken a stand, or regarding this matter. Also, even the global it's large, there is a stand which majority of people we can see. Why are we trying to want to make UCT looks like it's another island which does not exist within the community? Because a UCT is not UCT without the community of people who are here at UCT. A UCT is not a UCT without the community which is situated in. So the stand which is being taken here is not a stand only to say it's for myself or for who. It's a stand which represents what majority of the community at the institution are standing. Because a UCT is not UCT without its stakeholders, which are students, staff, professors, and anyone who belong to the community of UCT. So the fact that UCT is not taking, they are taking it politically, I don't think it's like that. A UCT is just trying to show where their community is standing and what are the views of their community. And the majority of the views, I think they support this motion.
In his application, Mendelssohn states that the motions were passed in an irrational manner, and Trevor Norwitz, who served as the former chairperson and president of the UCT Fund, resigned last year in response to UCT's statement on Gaza. Is this not going to hurt all of the students at UCT? But do you believe that this is the right thing to be doing?
I don't think it's going to hurt the student at UCT. These are just threats. And also, we have not seen anything. So let's see what will happen, and then we'll be able to come up with a way of how do we deal with such a situation. Because here we are just being threatened by saying it will hurt the student of UCT. But at this current moment, we have not seen its impact in any way. We just see it on papers. We just see by people speculating. So I don't think so. Also, I cannot just say it will not hurt them, but we are still waiting to see how will it hurt them. Then we will be able to see how can we deal with it in a manner that we are not going to be losing our principle in the process.
Mendelssohn goes on to say that these resolutions would affect the right to academic freedom, and that his research focusing on modern Jewish history would be impacted, as it is related to or involves Israeli citizens, including those, wait for the kicker, including those serving in the IDF or those who remain reservists.
You see now, this thing now has been reduced to an individual opinion or what an individual interest. So now we hear what he's trying to tell us is that it's all about him now. It's no longer about the community. It's no longer about the values and the principles. So it's not something that we can entertain. I think that is his own bed which he must sleep into. He's clearly just telling us that himself is a Zionist, which we don't want anything to do with them. Because, while Palestine, they're still in the state that they're in, why must we act as if everything is normal? So that is not UCT, that's him. Actually, him alone does not constitute a major stakeholder of this university. There is a community in this university. And that's why all these decisions, when they pass all committees, they didn't just pass by saying one person said this. People voted, and we saw an overwhelming support. We saw an overwhelming support, not just only from people who are sitting in those committees, even from staff, from students. Even we can tell you today that the majority of the stakeholders of this institution, they are okay with this resolution. This speculation which are being written, these people are just taking us to court. These are just some caucuses of 2-3 people who want to masquerade as if they represent the UCT. They don't represent UCT on their own. At UCT, majority, they are standing with this motion. So that is just his personal issues, which I don't think there is a need for structure like SRC or the UCT to be entertaining his own ambitions or his own interest.
Undoubtedly, the South African Zionist Federation and South African Zionists, not all Jews are Zionists, but those that are Zionists do support Mendelssohn wholeheartedly, as does the South African Jewish Federation as well. That being said, there's strong support from Professor Yousef Chi. He is a Palestinian Solidarity Campaign coordinator, and he said it was very concerning that some within the university were challenging UCT's progressive resolutions, despite the well-documented impact of Israel's actions on Palestinian education. He goes on to say this includes the arrest, detention, and killing of educational staff and students, as well as the destruction of educational infrastructure, not to mention what's happened in Palestine with the bombing of all hospitals and killing of medical staff. And as you know, that we here at Salam Media hosted a Palestinian journalist. She worked for Al Jazeera in the past. She's an award-winning journalist, and she was on a tour in South Africa talking about the safety of journalists. Up to now, the illegal occupiers, the genocidal occupiers, have killed over 100 journalists in Palestine. Your response?
Okay. So, listen, you are right. There are Zionists who are supporting this court interdict. But then the question can be, when this resolution has been passed, it was going through committees and all the structures, which in all structures for us to take decisions, we vote. And the votes have presented to us where the majority of the community it is standing. Then it means this Zionist group is just some few people, it's a minority group which want to impose their idea into what the majority of people in the institution are saying. So what they are saying is not something which we can really not entertain, but it's not something which matters at this current moment, because this thing was taken into a debate. We engaged critically, and we reach a point of voting, and the majority won. And when majority are the one who was supporting the motion, that's why the motion passed. But by the way, another thing which clearly shows where the stand of UCT stand and how it is, as we're speaking now, at the University of Cape Town, the health science faculty of have now welcomed 20, I think it's maybe I may be wrong with number, but it's close to 27 final year students who are coming to complete their academics here at UCT, who are Palestine. That's clearly also another way of. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. So that's another way of showing where as the institution we are going. Not this speculations of court case and some people writing some papers. It's just few people who they don't want to conscientize themselves and face the real reality. We are not saying be a Palestine. You can be a Jewish but not be a Zionist.
Absolutely. Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you indeed for your thoughts this morning. Hlamulo Khorommbi, you are the UCT SRC president, and you are right. UCT is hosting 27 Palestinian medical students to complete their studies. They were brought across by the generosity of Gift of the Givers, and you continue flying the flag as high as you can for the Palestinian cause. Thank you for being with us on the show this morning.
Okay, no, thank you so much.
It is exactly 9:30 in News and Views moving along.